Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spillin Tea with DHFYE, where you get to know the peer academic coaches, learn about student life and academic topics. My name is Ramel Ting Lao, and I'm a fourth-year student majoring in kinesiology with a minor in psychology, and I'm a peer academic coach supporting the College of Health, Human Services, and Nursing. I'm also joined by...
Hi, everyone. I'm Paulina. I am a third-year student majoring in psychology with a minor in Chicano studies, and I am also a DHFYE academic or peer coach, and I support the College of Natural and Behavioral Sciences.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me, Paulina. I'm very excited to have this episode 4, actually. It's going to be spooky stories and spooky midterms. So just to start things off, I want to ask you, Paulina, how's your day going so far? What have you been up to?
My day is going pretty well. I've just kind of been working, catching up on schoolwork. I've been hanging out with my dog. He's like on my lap right now. He doesn't want to get off. So yeah, so far so good. What about you?
Awesome. Actually just I got off of my other job. I'm actually a personal trainer at a gym. So I just clocked out there, and now I'm clocking in for the UAC. I had a meeting with the other peer coaches, the veterans as well, and I'm doing this podcast now. I'm looking forward to reaching out to my students once we're done with this. But I'm having a good day so far. It is a Thursday, so it's almost the weekend, getting ready for the weekend. But that's pretty much it for me.
Awesome. And it's actually perfect that you asked me about how I'm doing, because I want to ask you how your classes are right now.
Cool. So I'm actually taking 19 units. So it's a lot of classes right now, handling that. But it's actually going pretty well. I believe I have 2 Bs out of like the 7 classes I'm taking. So I'm hoping to, get straight A's by the end of the semester. But, I'm just trying to, manage my time well, really organize what's due, because, midterms are coming up, making sure, I'm studying the right content, and just staying up to date with any deadlines I have, knowing that I have so many classes. I got to make sure it's all organized. But I'm really enjoying the classes I'm taking. I have a couple of major classes and a couple of upper division GEs I'm trying to get done with. But so far it's been pretty smooth. But it does get hectic at times as a student. That's why it is, important, take time for yourself, and, take those breaks in between, your Zoom classes, because you do get burnt out. But how about you? How are your classes going so far?
I'm definitely not taking 19 units, which is I'm happy about. They're going pretty well. I'd say the only hectic one is my English 350, because it's literally writing like 2 essays every week, which is not fun.
Right.
And I'm taking a class with SPSS, so that's not fun either. But getting through it, taking the time to get all my assignments done. So yeah, and then since it's midterm season, do you have any tips and tricks for that?
Well, tips and tricks for midterms. So, me being a fourth year student, one thing that I really did learn about midterms is that you want to make sure you're studying the right content, because sometimes a professor would make the midterm cumulative. So, meaning you'd have to study the materials you learned from the beginning all the way into that mid semester. But sometimes professors have you take a midterm that's only specific chapters. So, you definitely want to make sure you're studying either all the content you learned so far or those specific chapters. And another really good tip is to study with a friend or a colleague that has the same class. It's definitely important to reach out to your classmates, just to build that connection with them. Try to learn the content together. And a good way that I do personally with my colleagues is that we come up with sample exam questions and we ask it to each other. And let's say like I ask you, Paulina, if you could explain this certain content on a different class and I don't know it, that could really help me out and help me understand it and get ready for the midterm exam. So what about you? Do you have any tips and tricks?
I think the biggest tip that I would give is give yourself time to study. Like, know when your midterm is so you can start studying like a week in advance, 2 weeks, or whatever you feel comfortable with. Do not cram the night before. Doesn't work. I've tried it before, did not end well for me. Another tip would be if you have any questions, like reach out to your professor. They have office hours. I'm sure they get lonely there because no one ever shows up. But yeah, those are some tricks. Oh, and use Quizlet, or at least Quizlet really works for me.
Great tips. I agree 100%. So knowing that, we talked about the midterms, but now it's, time to get into the spooky stories. So I want to ask you, Paulina, do you have any spooky stories to tell for us?
Spooky stories, not necessarily, but I get like that feeling when you're like home alone and you suddenly hear like a noise in a different room and you're like, wait, is like somebody in here with me? Or
Right.
like sometimes like you swear that you close the cabinet, but it's suddenly open. Like, like that kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
stuff, like that creepy, gives you the chills, makes you feel a little uncomfortable. Um, just that kind of stuff. What about you?
got you. I totally get what you're saying, like paranormal activity kind of stuff. So, for me, um, my uncles and like even my dad, they would tell me about this story that happened. So like, my great grandpa, he just, just passed, right? And it was like all of his cousins together. So my uncles and my dad, they're all together playing Grand Theft Auto, so GTA, right? The video game. And they always tell me this story, but I don't know if I should believe it. But they said like the character they're playing the game, the character he turned around and he looked like at them, like coming from the screen, and he said, "I smell you." And then keep in mind they're in my great grandpa's house. So they said that happened. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if they're trying to scare me, but that's what they said happened with the video game. And it still scares me to this day because I kind of believe it, but I don't know if they're just rambling off. But that's one of my stories. And then there's another story I had where it was my grandpa who passed about a year ago. At the time it was a year ago, and his death anniversary was coming up, and I was sleeping. So my grandpa, he lived with me, and I was sleeping at the time, and I had a dream that I was like with him, and he was calling my name. But at this point, um, I was like stuck in my bed, and I could see myself from the outside perspective, like me sleeping. So I think I was in, sleep paralysis. I think I was in that state. And at that moment, I saw myself sleeping, and I saw like a shadow hovering over me, and I couldn't move. I couldn't move. I couldn't look anywhere, just stuck right there. And I tried screaming, but nothing was coming out. So that was pretty scary moment of my life, and I hope that doesn't happen to anyone or like watching this or myself again. But have you ever experienced anything like that, Paulina, or no?
No, I've only heard of sleep paralysis,
Right.
Everybody's like, I swear there's like somebody in the corner, but I can't move. Like that sounds so scary. Really hope I never experience that in my life. But yeah, I've only ever heard people tell me about it. Like I said, I don't want to experience it. I hope nobody else experiences that because that sounds terrifying.
Yeah, definitely one of the most terrifying moments in my life, if not the most terrifying moment in my life. But let's get away from the scary stories. I want to ask you, what are some of your like favorite childhood memories regarding like Halloween?
Okay, so mine absolutely has to be like when I was in elementary school because my school would every year without fail put on like a fair. They called it like the Halloween Hoot, and basically like you would show up, you could dress up in costumes, they'd have like games, um, like bounce houses. It was really fun. So that's definitely one of my best childhood memories. What about you?
Awesome. That sounds like a lot of fun. I definitely miss being a child when it was Halloween because that would be like such an exciting moment. Dressing up. I think I don't have a specific favorite childhood memory Halloween, but I think just combined like all in elementary when I would dress up like together with my friends, um, who are still like some of my bestest friends today, which I'm very grateful for, which is pretty cool. But we always talk about how we would dress up like as a group. So I remember this one year we were Ninja Turtles, which is pretty cool. Another year we are like all ninjas. There's another year where we were Power Rangers too. Another year where we were wrestlers. So I think just those memories all together were very memorable for me, and I'll cherish those forever in Halloween. And speaking of Halloween, do you have any like plans for this year specifically?
As of right now, I do not have any plans, but I have had like some fall activities so far. Like one day I went to go hang out with my friends. We painted some pumpkins, watched some Halloween movies, ate some good food and snacks. But yeah, as of like Halloween day, no plans so far. What about you?
Gosh, that's awesome. I love pumpkin carvings like you said, and that's such a fun activity you could do with family and friends. So that's always a good one. My girlfriend and I, we actually dressed up already for one of our friends, like Halloween, like birthday party was kind of combined. And we dressed up as the Toon Squad. So Space Jam. The Space Jam 2 just came out with LeBron James. And we had I don't know if you could see it, but we had our picture right there. So we had right there. You see it, Pauline? There you go. So we dressed it right there as Toon Squad. That was pretty fun. But as far as like when Halloween does come, the actual date, I'll probably just hang out with my siblings. So I am the oldest out of four. So I'll probably hang out with them. I'll give them some candy. But as far as like going to other houses, I'm not sure, because we're still in like kind of in the pandemic still. So probably stay away from that. But probably just enjoy the time with my siblings.
That costume was so cute.
Thank
You
you.
guys look really good in that. All right, so now we are going to play a little game. So it's called Mad Libs, and for you all watching that might not know what it is, it's like this little story, and I'm gonna ask Romel like nouns, adjectives, stuff like that, and then he doesn't know what the story is. And then at the end, I'm gonna read back the entire thing, including like the adjectives, the names, and everything that he gave me. And then so we're gonna see what kind of story Romel writes. Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay. So the first one is give me a name of a costume.
Name of the costume. Chucky.
Start enough scary, I guess. Okay. A name.
Name. Julian.
Shout out to Julian that's editing this right now. A time.
3 a.m.
An adjective.
Beautiful.
Another time.
12 p.m.
Oh, 12 p.m.
12 p.m. Yeah.
A noun.
The mall.
A name.
Jessica.
A verb.
Running.
Another verb.
Walking.
Another name.
Maricielo.
Another verb.
Dancing.
Okay, an adjective.
Humongous.
A noun.
School.
Another noun.
University Advisement Center.
A room in the house.
Bathroom.
Another name.
Paulina.
Another room in the house.
Living room.
A musical instrument.
Violin.
An animal.
Chinchilla.
An adjective.
Small.
Another name.
Kayla.
A verb.
Sneezing.
And then last but not least, an adjective.
Adjective. Nice.
Okay, perfect. Okay, now we're gonna read out Romel's story. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready, Paulina.
Okay. It was a Halloween night. I decided to be Chucky for the night. My friend Julian, and I spent 3 a.m. planning our costumes. We were so beautiful about trick or treating. Shortly after 12 p.m., we decided to go out and trick or treat. With our mall full, we started to make the journey home. Taking a shortcut, we passed wait, hold on. We passed a house. We both recognized the house as old man Jessica's. We ran and walked at the house. I dare you to go in, Maricielo said. So I did. I danced the floor. The house smelled humongous. Stepping inside, I saw a school covered in cobwebs. Everything was covered in cobwebs, and the University Advisement Center. And the University Advisement Center. Standing in the bathroom, I noticed the old man, Paulina's family didn't take any of his belongings after he died. Sitting in the corner of the living room was a violin. It looked brand new, but covered in dust. As I reached out to it, a chinchilla cried from close by, causing me to fall to the floor. When I got to my feet, a small apparition stood before me. Frozen, I couldn't move until I heard Kayla calling me from outside. I sneezed out of the house. How did it go? Fine, nothing unusual. Just nice old house. That's your Mad Lib.
All right, I think that's probably the scariest story I ever heard.
Right? Especially Jessica, the old man's house. That's the best part.
Oh my, that was so much fun, Paulina. What a great idea, Madeline. So, I hope you all enjoy that story. Maybe that could become a movie. We'll make it into a movie, right, Paulina?
I think so. I
Let's
definitely
do it. But thank you so much for leading that, Paulina.
All right. So now we're going to talk about some upload dates sorry, let me start over. So now we're going to talk about some future podcasts, and then I'm going to spill some titles and also any events that are coming up for DHFYE. So to start off with the next podcast, it's going to be next month, and it's called Eternals, Thanksgiving, and the End of the Semester. So that one, PCs are going to talk about the Eternals movie, some Thanksgiving, and some exciting stuff about the end of the semester. And like I said, that one's coming out next month. And then for workshops being put together by DHFYE, just stay tuned. Some are going to come out in November. So yeah, stay ready for those. And now I'll pass it over to Ramel.
Awesome. Thank you, Paulina. We just want to, thank you all for joining us in this podcast segment. Please remember that Paulina and I, as peer academic coaches, are here to support you if we are your peer coach. But if we are not, please remember to reach out to your peer coach if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or really if you want to talk about any of the upcoming events and workshops that are mentioned in this video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and please let us know down in the comments what topic you would like to see in future segments. Thank you for joining us again today. We all hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.